news,
Lobbyists are fed up with politicians accepting their money and then not coming through.
opinion,
When the automated police force orders you inside, that's just them doing their job.
remix.
Even lost my job partially due to the whole global warming issue. Increase in oil prices. This guy's scared.
This is Top Story with Kelly Klass and Jill Skeen,
I've been a listener for about 20 years.
I'm talking to you makes me feel better.
where the news meets your opinion. Pick up the phone and talk about it. 736-0300. That's 736-0300. Now, here's the hosts of Top Story, Kelly Klass and Jill Skeen.
Good morning and welcome to Top Story. 736-0300 is the number to call. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Cal.
I should have, I suppose, found some audio from Robin Williams or something, but, you know,
I guess you didn't do your homework.
I guess not. We're going to go over his life a little bit. I found, and I edited it down quite a bit, just unless you have been living on another planet, you know who Robin Williams is. And I guess the ironic part of this is that I haven't watched a Robin Williams film for quite a while. But Saturday, we watched RV when he rented the big RV and took his family on vacation.
I never even heard of that.
Oh, you got to watch it. It's
Okay.
funny. It is so funny. And so anyway, he was kind of fresh in my mind when I got word yesterday that Robin Williams had committed suicide, of all things.
Well, they say a lot of comedians, there's a lot of pain there.
Yeah.
And that's why,
They
like
use their
Lenny
comic.
Bruce and this
Yeah.
and that. And
Aren't you
yeah,
a stand-up comic?
No, I did do it a little bit. Yes, I won. Yeah, no. But, you know, it's sad. But I think the bigger thing is the depression. He was haunted by that most of his life.
Yeah. And I think
no
you're
matter
right.
who
I think
it is,
that-
it doesn't matter who you are.
That's right.
How wealthy, how talented, whatever. If you have depression, you have depression. And I know he had trouble with alcohol and whatever. But, you know, I think that's the bigger story is the depression. It affects anyone.
Well, before we actually get on that subject, just want to let you know that coming up at 8:30, we have Steve Millington with the Twin Falls Republicans. And at 9 o'clock, we'll have Jordyn Neerdaels from the Idaho Department of Labor. She'll have some, as I said on the promo, tips on how to get your 26-year-old out of the basement. And also some job opportunities. So be listening to that. She's always very interesting to listen to.
And very helpful. So
very
if you're
helpful,
looking
yes.
for employees, if you're a business, she can help
Yes.
you with that as
Or
well.
if you're looking for employment, either way. It's a
right,
two-way street.
it's a two-way,
Yeah.
so it's not
And-
just employees.
And that's coming up at 9 o'clock. Anyway, back to the Robin Williams thing. Last night I was watching Dr. Drew. I think it was Dr. Drew who was saying, because it was flipping channels all over the place. But somebody, anyway, whoever it was talking to Dick Cavett, who apparently had also suffered from depression, and asked him what depression was like. And he said, depression is like someone can come into your room and tell you your rich uncle died and left you $100 million, and also tell you, and by the way, you have lost everything. That both of those stories would...
Oh, they're equal.
They're equal. They're both equal.
Equal emotion.
It means nothing and it means everything, I guess. So I guess as we talk about people who suffer from depression, and there are probably a few listening here this morning, I've been involved with people in the past who have suffered from depression, and man, I'll tell you what, it must be a living hell to suffer from depression, because being around someone or living with someone with depression is also an equally a living hell.
Right.
It is not fun at all. And you would think that the entertainers and people who you would consider are a success and have the world by the tail and do a movie for $20 million plus royalties and all that kind of stuff. And I know success is measured in other things other than money. But, from the first thing you think of is, well, why did they commit suicide? Gosh, they had everything. But
Well, that's what I'm
that
saying.
means
It
nothing
doesn't.
when you're suffering from depression. That means nothing.
It's pervasive. It doesn't matter what your class is or what your status is. It goes everywhere. It's a bigger issue than that. And so, it's sad because you think, how bad must you feel that you can't live one more second? Like, what must that feel like? Where one more second is unbearable, that you have to end your life. I can't imagine.
Yeah,
so.
And knowing that there's no turning back. Once you do it, I mean, it's final. There are no second chances.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if he was getting help for it.
Well, I think he was. According to police in Marin County, California, Williams was found unconscious and not breathing just before noon yesterday inside his home in Tiburon, California, following a 911 phone call. He was pronounced dead at 12:02 after emergency personnel arrived. They added that the actor was last seen alive at 10 p.m. Sunday. An investigation into the cause of the death is underway, but Sheriff's Office Coroner Division suspects the death to be a suicide due to asphyxia. A forensic examination is scheduled for today, along with a press conference that will be held at 11 a.m. in San Rafael, California. So that would be 12 noon our time coming up today. Williams' publicist Mara Buxbaum told The Hollywood Reporter that Williams has been battling severe depression of late. In addition to his Oscar, Williams has won 2 Emmys, 4 Golden Globes, 5 Grammys, and 2 SAG Awards. So,
and in high school, he was voted the funniest, but most likely to not succeed.
Williams recently checked into a renewal facility affiliated with the 12-step program in a move to focus on his ongoing sobriety. The actor had been open about his issues with drinking and cocaine during the early 80s and sought treatment in 2006 for alcohol abuse. A dazzling comic force, Williams' brilliance often intimidated other comedians. His improv skills were unparalleled and stupefying. Williams could wing off the cuff better than any of his peers. He burst through the stand-up world into television, captivating audiences with his portrayal of the endearing extraterrestrial Mork in the late 70s, Mork and Mindy. That's when I first became aware of Robin Williams.
I think that was really his first kind of big thing,
yeah. Yeah, and then he later got a guest star on Happy Days. And there's a lot of information in it, and I've taken a lot of it out, but I've just kind of wanted to hit the highlights. Williams' first comedic film role was the lead in Robert Altman's live-action Popeye in 1980, which received mixed reviews. He went on to delight audiences in a long string of big-screen comedies, including 1993's Mrs. Doubtfire. I remember that. If you think of Robin Williams, one of the first things that pops into my mind is Mrs. Doubtfire. And 1996 is The Birdcage. He also lent his voice to Disney's animated classic Aladdin in 1992, playing the genie, a part written specifically for him. Robert McLaurin Williams was born in Chicago on July 21st, 1951. He was raised in affluence, but he was brought up, as he admits, by the maid. He developed comedy to please his mother. The family eventually moved to the San Francisco Bay Area, where Williams graduated from high school. He studied political science, of all things, at Claremont Men's College and entered College of Marin to study theater. He won a scholarship to study at Juilliard in New York, where he spent 3 years under the tutelage of John Houseman and others. He returned to San Francisco before graduating. His goal was to become a dramatic actor, but he could not get a foot in the door. He turned to stand-up comedy, supporting himself by tending bar and working at an ice cream parlor. Williams moved to Los Angeles and enthralled open mic nights. He became a regular at such clubs as the Improv and the Comedy Store. He got spots on such TV shows as The Richard Pryor Show and America Tonight. His big break came when the producers of Happy Days decided to add an alien to the show. Williams won an audition. He guest starred on a 1978 episode that brought in avalanches of fan mail. Based on the outpouring, the network decided to create a spin-off series, Mork and Mindy.
Yep.
The sitcom, featuring Williams as a good-natured alien from the planet Ork, afforded him great opportunity to improvise. It was hugely popular. even leading to the production of the talking mork doll, which spouted such phrases as nanu nanu, Orkian for hello. William's spellbinding delivery William's spellbinding delivery vaulted him from complete unknown to national fame. Self-admittedly, fame arrived too fast, and he careened through a period of drug and alcohol abuse. His first movie role in Popeye was disappointing, but in his second role, he showed his charm as a young writer in The World According to Garp. He performed in the mid-1980s in a series of mediocre movies, including The Survivors, The Best of Times, The Club Paradise. He excelled as a Russian saxophone player who defects in Bloomingdale's in Paul Mazursky's Moscow on the Hudson. He hit his movie stride with Good Morning Vietnam in 1987, where his comic versatility as an anti-authority GI disc jockey played to his manic improvisational strengths. And I remember Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, it was good.
I was in radio at the time, and when I watched Good Morning Vietnam, I thought, I want to be just like Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Twin Falls.
That's right. I never quite made it.
No.
Like the best of comics, Williams at heart was utterly serious. He was a driving force in comic relief to benefit the homeless. Many of the specials aired on HBO.
And he won his Oscar for Good Will Hunting.
That's right.
That.
Yes.
Yeah.
I probably cut that part out.
I think you did. So.
Anyway, I mean, we all grew up with Robin Williams, and again, when there's someone like that who seems to be happy all the time and cracking jokes,
there's pain behind it.
Yeah, it's such a shock when you hear something like this.
Well, hopefully it'll bring awareness to depression.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like when you have, I don't know, another disease, people kind of validate it more. But when people go, I'm suffering from depression, it'd be like, oh, cheer up. Like they don't take it as seriously.
Right.
Because you can't see it. There's no physical symptoms.
And a lot of people say, come on,
hard.
just pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
Go out for a walk.
Yeah, shake it off and get going. But, I know from, being next to people in my prior years that it's not possible.
And you sort of think that, like, oh, come on, just.
Yeah.
But
frankly, you want to slap the crap out of them and say, come on, just get serious and knock this stuff off. Yeah. 7360300, top story. You're on the air.
Good morning, you guys. It's Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
Hey, I just was devastated, too. I just loved Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But as you guys were talking, it reminded me of something. One of his role models and idols was Jonathan Winters. And I remember Jonathan Winters suffered from depression his whole life, too. So I think these people that, they're happy on the outside and stuff like that, and a lot of times they're, suffer from these things. And I agree with you, Jill. I hope it brings a lot of spotlight to depression and that it's workable. But we sure had a loss there.
Oh, I know. And when you think, wow, if it happens to Robin Williams, my gosh.
It could happen to anybody.
A lot of comics, there's a lot of pain behind there, Lenny Bruce, and so, that's kind of what helps them work through it, I guess.
We would like to find someone around here who is an expert on depression and talk to them on the show.
I'm sure there's plenty.
I think that's something that we kind of need to look into. This is Top Story, 7360300. We'll be right back. 7360300 is the number to call here on Top Story. And about this low and honey loader that you've heard us talking about for quite some time, get a hold of Pat Hartzell. The low and honey loader loads all types of manure, from frozen to dry to liquid. And I'm sure that it had a good opportunity to be put to the test last week for the liquid manure. And get a hold of Pat Hartzell. He can arrange to sell you one, or he can even arrange to set it up so you can see one of these in operation. And his number is 280-1167. Pat Hartzell with Stanley and Company at 280-1167. He's the low and honey loader man. In fact, I understand he has a T-shirt that says low and honey loader man on it.
Is that right?
I don't know, maybe not. But anyway,
you just making
280-1167 is the number to call. He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Hey, I found a story this morning. We only have just a short segment here before Steve Millington comes in with the Twin Falls Republicans, but I just kind of wanted to throw it out there and see what you think about this. A North Carolina woman who said she discovered a butter-drawn swastika on the bun of her McDonald's chicken sandwich, feels bad that someone was fired, but said that she still worries that the employee failed to understand the gravity of the stunt. I felt so sick, Charlie Matisse, 32, told ABC News. Did someone think this is a joke? Matisse said she ordered a chicken sandwich at the drive-thru in Morehead City, North Carolina, last week, just when she was about to put mayonnaise on her bun. She noticed the swastika drawn on the bread with what looked like butter, and it shows a picture of it here, and it's definitely a swastika. It took me back for a minute, Matisse said, of the symbol of Nazism. It was so offensive. I don't know how old he was, said Matisse, who drew it, but who entered the restaurant to alert management. After finding the symbol, I went back into the kitchen. I saw two white males who looked like they were both in their late 20s. The owner of the restaurant took swift action after learning of the incident, saying they terminated the employee who allegedly drew the sign. And I just got to thinking, if I had been in her position and had ordered one of these and saw that on a bun of my sandwich, what would I do? Would I do what she did and alert the management and say, hey, this is not right? Or would I just kind of shake my head and eat it and go on and not say anything to anyone? I don't know if this was the only one he had done that. I would probably attribute it to some kid in the back who was bored stiff and knew it had to get done, so they did it in a swastika and never thought too much of it. Yeah. You, on the other hand, would probably take it to the next level,
I absolutely would. I mean, maybe because I'm Jewish, but I mean, I don't care how bored you are. You work for McDonald's. I don't think really McDonald's. I think the management should know that their workers are putting swastikas on their buns, and who knows? It could have been 100 times. Well, let me finish. You asked me what I thought.
I know. I understand that. And I will let you. I just want to say first, though, before the flaming liberals around here call me up and chew the hell out of me for being insensitive, I want you to know that I'm not excusing it. I was just wondering how different people would handle this.
But I also think if you don't say something, then you condone it. It's like when someone says something racist, ugly, whatever in front of you, if you don't say to them, that's totally unacceptable, do not say that in front of me, they then think you condone it. And I think it's all of our responsibilities when you hear something that's disgusting, offensive, whatever, to say something, and especially with something like this. If it was my restaurant and one of my employees was doing a swastika of butter on a bun for a customer, are you kidding me? What does that say about your restaurant? Now, I'm sorry, they would think that this guy, maybe he's a white supremacist, maybe he's anti-Semite, whatever he is. That's representing your restaurant. I think the guy absolutely should have fired the kid. How do you know how many times he's done that? If you're bored, draw a star, draw the golden arches, do something. But my gosh, a swastika, that's the best you could come up with? No, absolutely, she should say something. I would absolutely say something. Absolutely.
Okay.
What would you guys do? Are you kidding me?
Well, like I say.
What, are you kidding me?
I got to sign back in here. My computer signed me out. I probably would not have thought to say something.
Really?
That might be a downfall on my part. I'm kind of the type that doesn't really, believe it or not, after listening to this show, I don't really like, if I go to a restaurant and there's something a little bit wrong, I usually just kind of ignore it. If there's something big wrong, then I'll say something. So I'm the type that really, I don't like to make waves.
Well, Bill Kyle. Kyle from
absolutely.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
So you get a hamburger from Bill Kyle. This did not happen. But if one of his employees did that and you saw that, would you not say, hey, Bill, you might want to know your employees are drawing swastikas on your buns? How do you feel about that, Bill? I mean, are you kidding me?
I might say something. I might say something.
How could you not? I mean, that's what the guy came up with, a swastika? Are you that? And here's a newsflash. Maybe the guy should be enlightened as to what a swastika represents.
See, I think right there is the issue. I think a lot of our young people anymore don't realize the history of it.
I think he realizes now, don't you?
I wouldn't be surprised. I would like to take this call. I don't know if we have time. We got about 5 seconds. Top story. You're on the air.
Yes, I got to agree with you, Kelly, because if I go to a place and I don't like what I get there, I just don't go back there again. I don't raise a big stink about it. I just don't go back.
Yeah, I think, Jill, I think you have a good point. Something like that. I think the
when
kids
you put it in perspective,
need to be educated here.
They do.
We'll be back. Steve Millington. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. And guess what?
The Democrats' secular progressive move. Political correctness is killing us too. They want to take the money from the hard-working man and give it to the lazy folks that don't give a damn. Democrats and liberals, shame on you. Don't punish us all, just to please a few. You're holding people back while we're picking up the slack, and that's why we can't vote for a Democrat. Oh, no.
All right, well, that means that Steve Millington with the Twin Falls Republicans is here with us this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, what's that?
Here we go.
Yeah, it's too late to turn back now.
No.
I thought you were going to say, first of all, we're going to ask you about the butter on the bun.
Somebody has way too much time in the kitchen.
What I was actually going to ask you about is before we get too far down, we got a picnic coming up tomorrow.
Yep, we sure do. We have a picnic tomorrow night at the city park. Starts at 6 o'clock. We have got the county commissioners will be cooking the hamburgers and hot dogs.
Oh my gosh!
So this may be one of the few times that
all
you
county commissioners,
yeah, all three of them, you may actually be able to see the county commissioners work.
You know what? If they heard that, maybe they aren't going to be cooking your hamburgers right now.
You better have a taste tester with you.
Terry Kramer, I think you should back out right now.
We got hamburgers and hot dogs. We got corn on the cob. We've got all kinds of salads and desserts and all kinds of politicals showing up. We have not got an absolute, totally firm commitment, but we had a yes, I can be there from Steve Yates, the new state party chairman. Yeah. Most of the state elected people will be here, and nearly all of our local elected people, all the county officers, the legislators, they're all planning to attend. So we'll have a real good opportunity to sit down, visit with them, ask questions. It's an election year. Ask them the hard questions. Let's find out.
Will they answer the hard questions? Are they just going to do speeches, or are they actually going to take questions and answers?
It is going to be kind of an open deal. They just wander around. You can ask them questions, run them down, look them in the face. They will get the microphone for a few minutes.
Did you say Jim Resho is going to be there?
We haven't got a positive on him, but I don't think that Senator Risch is going to be here. One of the difficulties is everybody is trying to schedule all these events. We've had ours on the book since before May, and it
before the convention. Huh?
Before the fiasco. So it makes me just a little bit miffed that we didn't get a better billing. But we think most of the state officials will be here. We know that the governor will not be in attendance. So that we feel bad about that.
But he was at the Jerome County Fair, so
he was at Jerome last Saturday, and he's going to have to be in Montpelier, I think, on Wednesday, if I remember the schedule. But we should have a real good representation of elected people and a great opportunity to visit. And it's also a nice opportunity to just sit down and visit with other Republicans throughout the valley, sit and talk and visit, chat.
So it's going from 6 till when?
6 until we get done.
Oh, my. That might be a while.
Well, who's serving breakfast?
No, I think
leftovers from the night before.
Yeah, I think the city says that the curfew is either 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
well, we know how wild you all are, so that's going to be tough.
We'd be done by then.
Yeah.
You mentioned Steve Yates, and not knowing if he's going to be here. I know he attended the national GOP meeting last
Chicago,
weekend.
Right.
Yeah. Have you heard any?
The only thing that I heard, which is basically was a pre-announcement, they selected the 2016 site for the Republican National Convention. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Cleveland.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
Cleveland,
I'd heard.
Ohio.
That's what I heard.
I heard that.
But interestingly enough, every site they've ever chosen for the convention, they've lost that state.
Yeah. Oh,
so
dear.
It's very, if you go back years, it's funny, someone did that, and every
Every time they choose a state, it goes the
they've
other way.
lost that state.
Oh, dear.
Hey,
well,
I think Dems need Ohio.
They need to have it in North Dakota because they only have 3 electoral votes.
Yeah.
Don't go to Ohio where they got 25 of them.
Cleveland.
I guess that's a good idea.
So I haven't.
I guess in order to just explain, Steve Yates is the new GOP party chairman for Idaho.
For Idaho, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was elected just over a week ago, and so that put him in a kind of a. On Saturday, he was elected state party chair, and the conference in Chicago started on, I want to say the 7th, the 6th, 7th, whatever, like a Thursday.
Yeah.
And so he was in Chicago Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and now he's back home. And in our conversations with him, I've had 2 conversations with him and 2 email exchanges, and he wanted all the details and how do I get there, and so we are very, very hopeful, very positive that he will be there. Great opportunity for everyone to get some one-on-one time with the new state party chair.
Yeah, just ask him what his intentions are.
That's right. Where do we go from here?
That's right. We have Steve Millington with us from the Twin Falls Republicans, and we'll be right back on Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX. 7360300 is the number to call. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. We have Steve Millington with the Twin Falls Republicans. Before we get talking about the Shelley Ibarra campaign, we got a caller. Let's talk about that. Top Story, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. As luck would have it, that's exactly what I was calling about. What is going on there? Is she running? Is she not running? Did she not want to get nominated? I mean, it seems like you got a candidate there, Steve, that really doesn't want to, maybe wants the job, but doesn't want to run do the actual campaigning.
Well, she seems
very strange. What's going on there?
Well, I don't know what's her campaign people are proposing, and I don't have any idea what's going on with her strategy. But there's a couple of situations where that she might be a little bit slow getting started here. And one really big event that they have every summer, the Idaho, what are they?
Is it the superintendents?
School superintendents.
Oh, yeah, Idaho Association of School Administrators.
There you go.
And that's a little bit more broad than just the superintendents of the various school districts in this. This is school administrators. And so my guess is you're going to have the superintendents from all 114 or 115 school districts in the state. You're going to have associates, maybe
there were over
assistant
like 400 people there, right? 435,
huge audience of people. And more importantly, that audience of people is going to go home, and they're going to talk with the rest of their staff and their teachers.
Right.
And that's a tremendous opportunity to give a very positive presentation and have people be very, very positive. And, we got to really seriously consider Shelley Ibarra.
But her excuse was that she was meeting with a legislator. I'm like, what?
There are a few things, and I can tell you how not to run a campaign.
But Steve, did she confirm and say she was going to show and not show, or she just never confirmed?
I don't have any idea.
I believe she turned it down. I believe she never
turned it down.
That was my understanding also, Kelly, is
Yeah.
that she just basically said, I will not be there. And I have a conflict, which is basically I'm not going to be there. One of the things that I discovered was that, and we don't have the big high-profile audience that this school administrators would be. But if there was a debate or a big meeting where that all of the candidates running were going to be present, you better show up even if you've got a broken arm.
Yeah.
You better be there.
Well, like she could delay.
You better be prepared to answer the questions, all the questions, and you'd better be
You can pick up the phone, call the legislator, and say, "Hey, you know what? I had something come up that I'm not going to be able to make our little coffee clutch.
Yeah,
I got to go to this.
I got to go over here. I'll be there from 9 until 4. We can have an early supper or whatever, but I cannot be available." And that one really bothered me. As
an observer, me being an observer, looking at this. Something tells me that she was kind of surprised when she won the primary And she didn't think it would go this far, and now that it's here, she's not sure she wants to be there. I'm not sure she.
Well, that's a little bit late. You know,
You're right. Absolutely.
When you put your boat in the river, you better be prepared to either paddle or turn on the motor.
Yeah.
Because this is not a time when you can just kind of say, "Hey, wait a minute, I want to go back to the dock." Yeah. Now we're in for the long haul, and I think everyone has agreed for a long time that Janet Jones, I think, is the Democrat running.
Right.
She's going to be powerful. She's formidable.
Absolutely.
She was an assistant,
and we have had Democrat superintendents in the past.
Yep.
And she almost beat Luna at one point.
She got
it was
real
like
close
49 to 51.
Yeah. She got real close in the first election that Luna was involved in.
And look how that turned out. What a shame she didn't.
To say, this will be the true test of the R behind the name.
Oh my gosh!
I really believe that.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Oh boy!
I believe that this will be the true test.
This is going to be a really difficult, demanding race right here.
Yes,
and I think that Ybarra has got to get her running shoes on and don't worry about taking them off until about the 4th day of November.
We have a call.
Yeah, 736-0300, top story. You're on the air.
Yeah, Kelly and all of you. I think the gal running for superintendent, she wasn't my choice, but I don't think she has to worry too much about it. I think the school teachers, they're going to vote 80 or 90% Democrat anyway, so I don't think she needs to try to impress them.
Well,
Luna won, so twice.
I know.
I think that there may be a little different dynamic with regard to the superintendent of public construction race this year. The education budgets have been were whittled way back because of the recession. Idaho has a law that says you have to balance the budget. Period. No exceptions. You can't go borrow money and keep spending it. You have to balance the budget. We don't borrow money here. And so this gets to a point where there was an awful lot of angst in everyone's mind about how come we have had so many cuts to the education budget. Well, the education budget was cut pretty much in proportion to every other state agency budget, although I think education did fare a little better in the overall picture. I mean, if everybody was cut 10%, education was only cut 8%. But the fact remains,
well, not to mention
it's over half of this whole state budget, which is the difficult part.
If you put K to 12 plus higher education, it is like 63 or 64% of the total general fund budget.
Right.
But also the fact of our statistics of our kids, we're 50th of states of kids going on to college and graduating, and our other stats are not so great.
If just throwing more money at it would solve that problem, then Washington, D.C. would have the best school system in the entire world because they spend more money than per capita, per student, than any school district in the world, and they have one of the worst results.
But the point is, we're doing something wrong in the state of Idaho is the point.
Then let's go back and look at other measurements rather than just the amount of money we're throwing at it. And that's the part that nobody really wants to engage in.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it's not that's what I'm saying is we have so many statistics that are down on so many levels for our kids, whether it's the money or something. We're doing something wrong in this state. So it's important, and people are looking at it because businesses and people don't want to move to the state if the education is bad. I mean, that's one of the first factors people look at. How are the schools?
I don't think anybody will argue with you on that.
No.
That's pretty standard.
So I think this is a crucial election.
736-0300, top story. You're on the air with Steve Millington.
Hello?
Hello there. How are you today?
Good. How are you guys?
We're just barely making it.
Hey, I was wondering, where's the lottery money?
They put it in and then they subtract it out.
That's right. That's exactly what happens.
It goes what?
They put it in and then they subtract it out. What? Yeah.
It's not a net add-on.
No.
That's right.
They say, okay, here's the total allocation for K-12 budgets, and by the way, you got $20 or $30 million or $50 million from lottery, so we'll take that back out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not an addition to the education budget. It is an instead of.
Yeah.
So.
And some of those things I think we have. It's extremely delicate. On education. if the state doesn't put up the money, then the local school districts have override elections to make up the difference. And everybody says, well, yeah, but the state should be making everybody 100% whole. And I look at that and I say, well, in a perfect world, maybe that would be nice. But I'm a firm believer in the golden rule. And in politics, the golden rule is him with the gold make the rule.
Yeah.
And so if the local school districts want 100% or a significantly increased amount from state funding, then they're going to have to accept state requirements. And the more outside money comes to our local school district, the less control the local school district is able to use.
I hear that a lot. They want more money from the state for the schools, but then when they start putting down these demands and they say, wait a minute, we don't want the state
we don't
control.
like that.
You can't have it both ways, unfortunately.
And that's also part of the problem with federal funding. We got I'm a little off on this number, but I'm pretty close. We get somewhere between $230 and $250 million a year to the education department from federal government, and so that's about 20% of the total budget. It's $1.3 billion, and you take $250. It's not quite 20%, but it's close enough. Okay. Well, if all of that money went away, where would we find the other $250 million to make up the hole that was left? And it was up to me, there would be no federal assistance in education, period. Get out of here. We don't need you guys. You just make things worse.
Okay, fine. We have a caller.
But we do have a $250 million hole we're going to have to fill. And in as much as that 63 or 4% of the general fund budget is education, it's always going to be a really hot topic. It just can't help but be. It's just too big.
7360300, top story. You're on the air with Steve Millington.
I got a couple things. I think one of the problems that Idaho has is we have all these rural school districts that just refuse to incorporate. I mean, there's no point in Hanson and Murtaugh having their own school districts. You're talking two superintendents that are making $100,000 a year. All the other problems that come along with having these rural 100, 200 kid school districts just doesn't make sense. They should incorporate those and make those into bigger school districts, and then that way there's more of a population to support. As people move from agriculture to the city, you have to start looking at, okay, well, kids are going to have to run on buses a little bit longer to get to school. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to do that. And then the second thing I would say is this. I don't think it's all about the money, because if you look at private schools and the quality of students that they produce, especially in the state of Idaho, as compared to the public school kids, and those private school teachers actually make quite a bit less than the public school teachers, and they don't have near the benefits. And yet they seem to produce much better students with a much smaller budget. And I believe that the one thing that nobody wants to talk about, which is the big elephant in the room or the gorilla, whatever you want to call it, is the lack of parent involvement. I go to my kids. I go to all of their teacher conferences and everything else. And when I go into those places, like 75% of the parents don't even show up.
I hear you. My wife was a teacher for many years, and she said of her complaints as a teacher, that's one of the big ones, that the parents won't get involved.
But before we run out of time, I want to talk about this race, because if you think the R behind the name is going to affect a race, I think it's the treasurer's race, Ron Crane. And to me, I am curious if the GOP is actually endorsing Ron Crane with the absolute egregious things he's done with our money, and really personal use of gas cars and limos, and is the GOP endorsing this candidate?
Well, he's the guy with the R behind his name. Let me tell you that.
If he wins, this absolutely is because of that, and people should be
let's talk about
really
a couple
shocked
of things.
by this.
There are a couple of issues. The gas card thing, I think he had to reimburse the state
$8,000.
And the limo thing, I talked with two legislators who were in New York on one of those trips where he took the legislators with him to the bond agents back there to secure bonding for the state of Idaho. And having been in New York only a couple of times in my life, I discovered that it was a whole lot more successful to put all of us in a limo and get from point A to point B together and quickly and on time. And so the limo thing, everybody wants to make a big deal out of it. I'm not so sure that's such a big deal because
he also brought family and friends and was using that.
You go to those cities and you've got to have a very efficient way to move parties from point A to point B, and that's probably the best way.
What about the $10.2 million he's lost and another $17.4 million, and that he overrode the controls in place?
I have just enough money in my individual investment retirement accounts to think that I might starve to death just before I die. My investments accounts just took a terrific beating in the last 6 years. And
are you actually condoning what he's done,
It's only
Steve?
been the last couple of years that the things have kind of started to come back. And I look at him and I say, well, I might just have 50 cents left when I die.
Steve, he was moving things into accounts he shouldn't have moved into, and he hasn't addressed the auditor's concerns. Are you kidding me? You're justifying this?
Unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll have to pick this up next week, and we probably will. So
by the way, we do have confirmation that Ron Crane will be to the picnic tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
So everyone can ask him those questions.
There you go. And next hour, we have Jordyn Neerdaels with the Idaho Department of Labor about getting a job. And she'll have some job opportunities. So we'll be right back after the news. Well, welcome back here to Top Stories. 7360300 is the number to call. Welcome back, Jill.
Thank you, Kelly.
Actually, one thing we haven't mentioned this morning is a little bit on the moist side this morning.
It looked like it's about to rain, but I don't know if it is. Is it raining, Jordyn?
It was this morning when I was going to work.
Yeah, it rained a little bit this morning coming to work. It's one of those mornings where you like to go out on the porch and just sit and watch.
Have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and watch nature, and let the world go by. Unfortunately, some of us have to work.
Right.
Yeah,
and Jordan's trying to get more of those people to work.
That's right. Jordyn Neerdaels is with the Idaho Department of Labor.
Get off your porch, people, and listen.
Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Jordyn.
So before we you got a whole pile of jobs
Oh, my goodness. We have so much going on in our office and on our website. There's just lots of jobs. It's a good market to be a job seeker right now.
So if you are looking for a job, or maybe you have adult children in the basement who need a job, wake them up, get them up here, or take the radio down and crank it up so they can hear it.
Right next to them.
That's right. Put it in a room where they can't get to so they can't turn it down, because Jordyn has all that information. Now, first of all, you have, a job fair coming up?
Yeah, it's a hiring event with Glambia. So they have actually expanded into Gooding. I think they had a small operation going on in there, but now they're putting some more money and effort into it and actually really expanding it. So actually a week from today, next Tuesday, August the 19th, Glambia is going to have a huge hiring event over in Gooding at the Bass Cultural Center.
Oh.
So they say to bring your resume and be ready to interview for these jobs. So I can't stress enough, show up dressed to impress, prepared, with your elevator speech. It's not just to walk around and get, maybe I'm interested in this. No, go with like a game plan that this is what you want and be very professional about it.
Don't go with your flip-flops and cutoffs.
Right.
Put on a nice dress or a nice suit.
Find a
babysitter.
Yeah, find a
Take
babysitter.
the earrings out, guys.
Right.
Sorry, but that's just the way it's got to be.
Yep. You don't want earrings falling into your cheese and having that with your
That's right.
your tacos.
And what kind of positions? I mean, they range from what to what?
Oh my goodness. First line supervisors and managers. Maintenance utility operators, they need tons of drivers and milk haulers, maintenance mechanics, warehouse assistant team lead, warehouse operator cheese plant lead, chemical specialists, cleaners, lab team, production team, tons.
So that sounds like that's kind of the gamut. They need anybody who knows how to push a broom, to CDL to drive a truck.
Correct, to some management experience.
To a degree in cheese science or whatever.
Absolutely. The chemical specialist especially. Yeah. And then any sort of management, business, HR kind of experience that you could manage a first line. Yeah. Really great opportunity. They're a great company to work for and have really, really good benefits for their employees. So
this could be their chance.
Definitely. And then they are hiring for some of the jobs here in Twin. So I know Gooding may be a little bit of a drive for some people, but the pay's worth it, then,
Well, in
could be a good
California, they
opportunity.
have 2-hour commutes and they think nothing of it.
Right. I know.
Place.
And
Yeah, Boston. Give me
I
a
cry
break.
for more than 10 minutes,
I know.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for you guys.
Right.
Takes me 6 minutes to get to work.
And you're still complaining.
I still complain.
I know. So what else do you got, Jordyn?
Well, Cactus Pete's has been coming into our office for the last couple of months. They're really recruiting hard. They have some really great opportunities. They're going to be in our office next Monday. So
when you say they're in your office, are they doing like a little mini job fair there?
They are. Yeah.
Okay.
They come in and they kind of post up in one of our conference rooms, and it's that one's a little bit more lax. It's kind of casual. That one you can go in, sit down, and talk with their representative and kind of learn what it would take to be a blackjack dealer.
But still dress nicely.
Yeah, please. No sweatpants or anything, please. Yeah, dress appropriately. But
right.
And they have everything from chefs needed in their restaurants to blackjack dealers to security guards. So really cool opportunity down there too. And they have a bus system, which I didn't realize for their
they drive them from
for their employees.
They've had that for quite some time.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So
and it's a nice bus too.
Yeah,
it's one of those big fancy
really
tour
affordable.
buses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what time are they going to be there? What day and time, in case people are interested?
Next Monday, which is going to be the 18th. And they'll be there from 8 till about 1.
Okay, great.
She just kind of sits there, and as you're coming in through the office, she has a door open, or we can point you in the right direction, and you can go in and talk with her if you're looking for a new opportunity.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Learn some card tricks.
Yeah.
Right?
And you don't have to drive down there. How nice is that?
I know. I always try and pitch that to people. That
I
don't
love
have to
that. You
waste
could
your
just,
gas.
it's like community. It's like being on the T or something,
Right?
you
Get
know?
a good
you
book
just,
and just definitely
read the paper.
I've had people who live down there too tell me that Jackpot is actually a nice little town to live in.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess small.
You're not supposed to
small
sound
town
so
quaint.
surprised, Jordyn.
I know.
Of course. Yes.
Great.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like visiting it, but
At least the ones I've talked to, others I don't know. But anyway.
Anyway.
Okay, so what else you got?
So
then?
and Gooding is just having a heck of a time. They've got lots of jobs open right now. They're looking for a detention deputy. This is salaried, so it's at about $27,000 a year. Raised after completion of post. So sign up for Post Academy and have that done.
So is that through the sheriff's department?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Gooding County Sheriff's Office. Basically security and safety, providing security and safety to the facility staff and people that are incarcerated in the Gooding County Jail. Pretty straightforward. So it doesn't need any experience, but I think they do want you to sign up for Post and be able to complete that.
Okay. Do they pay for Post?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Another stumper question from
Why
Jill.
not? You know, if I don't do one a day, then I'm not doing my job.
Right. Got to keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
They're also looking for a wastewater maintenance through the city of Gooding. That's going to be anywhere from $12 to $16 an hour. Just requiring a high school diploma and a little bit of experience. They do have Percy retirement and really good benefits. There is going to be a pre-employment drug and alcohol test, though. But basically,
that could eliminate a lot, apparently, right?
I know, they throw that
in there. Jeez, oh man.
So they're looking for an employee that can perform entry-level or semi-skilled installation, maintenance, inspection, and repair work in the city water distribution and sewer collection system. So hopefully they had someone when it was raining like crazy last week.
Yeah. And if you're kind
Maybe
of handy,
that's why they need another one.
Another one, yeah. Who
if
knows?
you're handy with a pipe wrench, you might have a good chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's it. Operates a variety of vehicles, heavy equipment. So sewer cleaners, tractor mowers, dump trucks. Got to be comfortable with your hand tools and power tools. Respond to emergency situations such as system breaks or blockages or flash floods.
Those are always fun at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
So.
And then maintain current inspection, maintenance, repair, and daily work records and reports.
Okay.
All right. That's in the town of Gooding.
That's in Gooding. Yep.
Okay.
And then I pulled a couple of positions off of the Division of Human Resources. So if you don't know, if you're looking for a state job, they're not always posted with Department of Labor. They're on what's called the DHR website. So you have to look up Idaho state jobs through the Division of Human Resources and then go through and see which ones are in Twin. And the Fish and Game office called me last week to let me know about a office specialist position that they just opened up. So that's going to be with the Fish and Game office in Jerome, anywhere from $11 to $14.50 an hour, plus competitive benefits, the insurance and retirement. Just greeting customers, answering calls, basic office maintenance stuff that you would think of. Yeah.
What do you want?
You can be too grumpy. Too grumpy. I don't know.
I'm too busy
about
to talk right now. Go away.
Go away.
Pound
Leave
your
message.
fist. That'll help.
The Department of Correction here in Twin is hiring a drug and alcohol rehabilitation specialist. So that's going to be $17.75 to $19.72 an hour, and then the great benefits again. This one's going to be open until further notice, and I guess I should have mentioned too, the Department of Fish and Game one is going to close the 19th. So if you're interested in that, hurry and get on the DHR website. All of these state jobs can be applied through the DHR website.
Okay.
This one, you're going to conduct initial intake interviews with clients to kind of obtain background data and social information and figure out what kind of plan as far as how to help them while they're incarcerated and get them back on their feet. So kind of an interesting job. Court reporter for the Idaho Supreme Court. This one's in Burley, so not too bad of a drive. $21.50 an hour all the way up to $24 an hour. This one is open until August 29th, so still a little bit of time to get on that website and apply for it.
You probably have to be trained as a court reporter, right?
Let's see.
I would think.
Yep. Pursuant of Certified Shorthand Reporters Act code, a district court reporter must be certified shorthand reporter as defined in the act.
Could you imagine you're like the court reporter for the Supreme Court and you're like, wait, what did you say?
Hold on. Yes.
Wait,
can you repeat
I
that?
can't. Yeah. I really should have gotten that course. Yeah. That'd be actually probably a funny bit, but anyway. Go on.
So if you are certified and you're confident that you can keep up, because you do have to report verbatim of everything that's said.
Yeah.
So you can't correct their grammar and
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
That would be tough.
Yeah. I just paraphrase. Is that okay, Judge?
I can't hardly I can't hardly stand to see a post on Facebook that has bad grammar, let alone something like that where you couldn't fix it.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Anyway. Yes.
And then the Department of Environmental Quality is hiring a regional administrator. So this is going to be kind of a big ticket job. It's $36 an hour all the way up to $37.50 an hour plus competitive benefits. But it's going to have a lot of responsibility, managing the Twin Falls office and overseeing the regional administration and implementation of statewide programs throughout the area. So kind of a big
kind of somebody who knows that line of work.
Exactly. They want someone who's familiar with crisis communication and management as well as environmental procedures.
I think we have crisis communication, don't we, Kelly?
Yeah.
I think I might be really qualified.
I can do that.
This is definitely crisis communication, this show.
Right?
Yeah.
Think on your feet.
Yeah.
I pulled this one off. I thought this was kind of interesting for the right person, but the Twin Falls County is hiring a drug testing tech, but
a lot with drug testing,
right?
huh?
It's male specific though.
Male specific.
They can put in there, so they're not being sexist or anything because it is going to be testing.
So they'll have
male.
You have to be in. You actually have to be in there with them because people can falsify this
and they can tucked in their leg. Yeah, exactly. So as it's kind of interesting.
And if it's not the right temperature. It could be someone else's urine they brought in there. It has to be the right temperature, too.
The little cup thing has a little thermometer on it. So, anyway.
Wow. That's fine. Let them do it. Fine. Fine. Can they hit the cup? That's all I'd want to know.
Right. So, if you're interested, that one's going to be through twinfallscounty.org. Apply online. High school diploma, minimum age 21. And then, of course, you do have to be male because it's going to be...
Do they have to pass a drug test to have the job? Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Wonder if they can give it to them themselves.
This is my first test. No.
Okay.
Adult detention deputy. This is a female-male position. This is through the Twin Falls County again. So kind of the same one that I was saying before, corrections officer in Gooding. This one's just for the Twin Falls. Pay is dependent on experience. Performing security checks as required. They're not requiring any experience, though, which is kind of nice if you're interested in getting involved in something like this.
Gotta learn as you go on the job.
Definitely. And then this was another interesting one. I always thought this would be kind of I don't want to say a fun job, but it would be really hard, but an emergency communications dispatcher. So you're getting the 911 calls and then sending out the fire department, ambulances, police department.
Yeah, so dispatch with Sercom or something.
Right, exactly. That's who it is.
How much is that an hour?
It's $13.86 an hour.
Okay. Do you have to be trained for that one, Jordyn?
Nope, no training.
Wow.
Just an Idaho driver's license.
Okay.
You don't have to drive them yourself, do you?
We have Jordyn Neerdaels with us from the Department of Labor, and she has a whole pile of more jobs here available. So we'll go through those when we get back here on Top Story. 736-0300 is always the number to call. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. Welcome back. Jordyn Neerdaels is with us from the Department of Labor, and she has a lot more jobs lined up here. So if you are looking for a job or maybe looking for a way to improve your status in the job market, or maybe you have, and I say this with tongue in cheek, but still half serious, if you have kids living in your basement who should be out working,
right?
There's no excuse not to have a job. With the pile of jobs that Jordyn has with her today, there is something there for everybody.
Absolutely.
I know.
Yeah,
And this is only about 20-some of the 400 jobs we have posted online right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they keep saying, we need jobs here. We got jobs here.
We do. And before we get back to those jobs, let me just tell you that yesterday's $100 instant winning name is Betty Wyatt.
Betty Wyatt, congratulations.
And your $100 word of the day for today is note.
Note.
N-O-T-E.
Note.
Make a note.
Note.
And you go to our website at newsradio1310.com and click on Word of the Day, type in note, listen tomorrow. If you hear your name tomorrow and you played the Word of the Day today, you win $100 just like that. I got to sign back into my computer again. I keep forgetting to move things around. And
See, look at, would he be a good employee? I don't know.
Slacking off.
Oh, look, there's a squirrel just
yeah, shiny object.
Yes, shiny.
Okay, so more jobs.
More. So Twin Falls Police Department has 4 vacancies that they're trying to fill.
Really?
No experience needed. Minimum age is going to be 21.
I just barely make that.
Right, darn it, I know. Can apply online at tfid.org.
And they have to go through Post, I assume. They have to have some training.
Right.
I hope, right?
Right.
Are they looking for, is it police officers or is it other type?
Straight up police officers.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
It is on a biweekly salary, so you're looking at about $1,300 every 2 weeks. And bilingual people are encouraged to apply as well.
Okay, great.
So speak 2 languages could be a good opportunity.
I can hardly speak English
right,
myself.
I know.
Does it matter the language? You're like, yeah, I speak, I don't know, English and Hebrew. How will that help? Yeah.
Or Pig Latin or
Right.
something like that,
Right.
you know?
K&T Steel is hiring a welder, $15 an hour. So you're going to fabricate, position, align, and fit parts of structural metal products. Reading blueprints is a must. Must be certified or be able to pass welder certification test at the job site prior to hiring. And it's a drug-free work site, so must pass a drug test.
Okay.
Lots of those.
A lot of those.
Oh, yeah. So Amalgamated Sugar is right in their seasonal time that they're hiring tons of people right now. So everyone gets really excited around this time because Amalgamated's opening up jobs. So all of the Amalgamated Sugar Factory jobs go through Department of Labor. It's kind of a unique hiring thing that they do. But you have to come in and see one of us on Falls, and we give you a referral and an application to fill out and set you up with an interview time. So don't contact Amalgamated. Don't contact the Sugar Factory. Just come right in and see us if you're interested in any of these. So just kind of the generic, almost all of the factory work gets siphoned down into this title, but it's laborer, factory, heavy duty. So anything that you could possibly think of doing on the line in the factory is going to go through this job posting. So $12.60 an hour. Must be able to lift up to 100 pounds throughout the shift and must be able to work rotating shifts, weekends, and holidays.
Oh, yeah. Everything is fine. Everybody's happy until you have to work on a holiday.
Right. Yeah, yep.
Or show up at 2 in the morning.
I know. This is when it gets challenging. Okay.
They're also hiring for scale house workers. This one, the pay is dependent on experience. It's a seasonal position. You're going to be weighing beet trucks as they come to the receiving station and must have strong computer skills and typing accuracy.
Okay, great. Wonder how much those weigh.
Yeah,
those big trucks?
Yeah, the beet truck. How much would a beet truck weigh? If a beet truck could beet truck.
I don't know what is allowed, but, those things get up around.
They're huge.
I don't know if they're 100,000 or not, if they're that heavy.
Oh, my gosh.
But, yeah, they're pretty heavy.
Wow.
All right, got to weigh them.
And then there's also the beet receiving station worker. So a little bit different from the scale house. This one is going to be $9.11 an hour. This position is also seasonal. Light to medium duty position, must be able to work long hours in all kinds of weather, must be able to lift up to 50 pounds, help unload trucks, take samples, might be weighing the trucks, so you might be helping those scale house workers as well. You're going to start mid-September for approximately 4 to 6 weeks, 6 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, just a walk in
What
the
did
park.
you say they made?
$9.11 an hour.
Okay.
And that is where again?
At the Amalgamated Sugar Factory.
All right.
So lots of good overtime in those positions.
Yeah, I would say.
And then, some of the positions, the heavy factory labor, they do turn into permanent positions if they have openings. So I always tell people, don't be afraid to take a temporary assignment or a seasonal position. You never know where it's going to end up.
Especially if they want to work for that company.
Absolutely. Technically, my job with Department of Labor was a temporary, just based on funding
And look at you now, Missy. Look at you now.
That's right. Practically owns the place.
I know it.
Oh, I wish. My office manager probably wishes sometimes too, but no.
We'll be right back with Jordyn Neerdaels from the Department of Labor. 7360300 is the number to call. We'll get back with more job opportunities with Jordyn Neerdaels from the Department of Labor. But first, I wanted to remind you of an opportunity for you. Canyon Pond on South Shoshone Street, right across from Will's Toyota. Dave Hansen and the crew there have opened up Canyon Pond, and it's nice. It's a really nice store. I was in there a couple of weeks ago and looking around, and they got a lot of stuff still new in boxes, as a matter of fact. You know, you really don't see a lot of that in a pawn shop, but you do in this one. Also, they got a whole line of guns. So if you are looking for a particular gun, you could give them a call. Maybe you have a gun you want to pawn. Maybe you have an item that you want to pawn. Maybe you're moving out of the area and need a little moving money or something. You know, you could take your stuff down there and pawn it. They do that too, but they have a really nice store. 933-2600 is the number to call, canyonpawn.com. And they just want you to come in and browse around. And the nice thing about a pawn shop, you know, you go in there today and you see some interesting stuff, and you go in tomorrow and you see a whole different group of stuff.
All new stuff.
That's right. So Dave Hansen, you can tell them that Kelly and Jill sent you in, okay? On South Shoshone Street, right across from Will's Toyota. Okay, so Jordyn Neerdaels with us. More job opportunities here.
More jobs, and I can't stress enough that this is, like I said before, this is only about 20 of the some 400 jobs we have posted online.
Yeah, so if you don't, and you do have them online, so if people, what's the website?
labor.idaho.gov.
And they can even, you have the jobs in the state there, don't you? And then they can search that down to the area.
Yep. It's the entire state. So if you're looking at relocating north or down to Boise, you can look at Boise jobs. Or if you are just hunky-dory right here in Twin, you can be very specific and look just right here in Twin. So,
And Jordyn, real quick, if employers want to register for you to find jobs for them, it doesn't cost them anything, right?
Nope. They're technically already paying for it with their business, their taxes. So might as well use the service that's there. But you go to the same page, labor.idaho.gov. When you get to that homepage, there's going to be a job seeker tab up at the top. So anyone on the job seeker spectrum looking for work. And then there's an employer business tab too. So you can look at everything from filing your new hires, filing your taxes, everything, one-stop shop on that website. So,
okay, great.
Cool.
Yep. And then posting a job with us. So this is completely free to list a job with us.
And you can do that online?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you don't have to come in. If you have any questions or want to make sure it got posted or talk to someone, we love your calls. We love hearing from people. So
give your number.
Yeah, 735-2500.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
735-2500. Now back to the jobs.
Right. So KeyBank is hiring a small business relationship manager. So you're going to be working with different businesses in the area to kind of develop and identify what their needs are and maybe how KeyBank can help fulfill that. Refer to partners, kind of making sales pitches and trying to figure out which KeyBank programs are going to be best suited for some of the small businesses in our area. So if you're a good communicator and like to work with the public, could be a good opportunity.
Again, Kelly, you're not qualified.
I'm sorry.
So Stanley Hay is hiring a couple of pretty high-level positions, and I wasn't aware Stanley Hay actually is in 5 different states.
I didn't either.
They were a local.
I did too.
Yeah, but they're a pretty big outfit. So they're hiring a human resources manager, so HR manager. They are requiring a bachelor's degree and at least 5 years of experience. organizing staff, establishing recruiting, testing, interview program, preparing employees for assignments by establishing and conducting orientation, training programs, just everything you could possibly do, I guess, to get their staff up and ready. So they want you to email a cover letter and resume to apply, no phone calls, and you can do that at stanleyforage.com.
Very good.
They're also hiring for a safety coordinator. So this one is also pay is dependent on experience, and apply online or in person. So you're going to go to stanleyforage.com. But this position, you're going to be developing administrators' effective occupational health, safety, and industrial hygiene programs, including health service functions and maintenance of related policy and procedure manuals.
Basically, keeping people from getting hurt.
Right. So the safety manuals, everything, definitely.
Wow.
And then testing equipment samples and making sure that all of the equipment is safe for people to be working on. So bachelor's degree and then 2 years of experience is preferred.
All right. StanleyForage.com.
Correct. Swire Coca-Cola is hiring for a merchandiser. The pay is negotiable, so come in with a good idea of how much you're worth, and you can find out all that information.
And let's see if it's the same idea they have.
Yeah, right. So, and
see if it matches.
Right, and if you are curious,
I've never been paid for what I thought I was worth.
Right, this is what I think it is.
That is trouble. Okay.
So to get, I guess, a more realistic understanding of maybe what you would be worth, you can get on our website. We do have labor market information, so employers can get on and look and see if am I paying my employees competitive wages to keep them around, and then as a job seeker, what actually are my job skills worth?
All right.
Oh, we got one more segment, Jordyn, so hang in there.
Hang tight. We'll be right back. More jobs coming up with Jordyn Neerdaels from the Department of Labor. 7360300 is the number to call here on Top Story. We have Jordyn Neerdaels with the Idaho Department of Labor. I know that you have a few more jobs there, but you also kind of have a sad announcement.
I do. Kind of bittersweet. So this will be, as of right now, maybe the last time I'll be coming on for a little bit. I just got a promotion.
Way to go, Jordyn.
Department of Labor, and I'm going to move into the Boise Central office. So,
well, we might have you on phone. We're not sure. You might have to
work
come
out the
down.
details, but,
if we can't find anyone as good as you to replace you, we'll just keep having you, and they can send you down here the second Tuesday of every month for a meeting.
Right? Yes. Hint, hint, Central Office, Boise.
Yeah. So.
That's right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Because you started as a temp.
I did.
And look what can happen.
Limited service, and if you just, you're the what do they call it? The nail that sticks out the most. You're the one that, I just kept poking my nose and stuff and trying to get involved in everything, and you never know what happens. So.
Well, you're a good example, especially for a 23-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
You did a great job.
So we wish you the best,
and we're gonna miss you, but we're going to try to keep you.
We're going to try and get back.
Don't worry. We're not going to let you go yet.
Right.
That's right.
So I'll hurry and squeeze these last ones in.
Right.
This is a really cool job. It's only a part-time job, but it's through the University of Idaho down here, and it's a nutrition advisor for their new program, Eat Smart Idaho.
Really? Now that one sounds interesting.
I know. I was really excited about this.
Doesn't have anything to do with Michelle Obama, does it?
Don't even go down that rabbit hole, Jordyn. Don't
feed into it.
Right.
So this is like I said, a part-time position, $10 an hour, but you're going to be providing education and support for the Eat Smart Idaho program in the areas of nutrition, food safety, and food resource management. To food stamp recipients and applicants in the Twin Falls area.
And what kind of education do you need?
They don't say. They think they just want someone that has a good knowledge of nutrition, food safety, and food resource management. So you know how to cook healthy meals and get
I do.
There you go.
I do. And it's a part-time job. That would be great.
Nice little supplement. Yeah.
We got to take a little break. We got a caller here. Let's see who's on. Top Story. You're on the air. Good morning. Hello.
Are you hitting the right buttons?
I think so. I don't. And it called on kind of a different line. It's probably a telemarketer, so we'll just ignore it and go on.
Move on.
All right.
So, and then I've got 2 jobs for a company called Enel Green Power North America, and I just learned about this company last week. They're an Italian corporation that works with hydroelectric power and the wind farm, so the turbines, and they're hiring a hydroelectric power plant operator here in Twin. They want 1 year of experience and a GED or high school diploma. The position is, the salary is DOE, dependent on experience. And you can send an email or with your resume attached to egpna.hrrrecruiting@nl.com.
Oh, better do that one again.
You want to say that again? Yeah.
egpna.hrrecruiting1@enel, which is enel.com.
Now, can they call you at the office to
Yes.
get that again?
And look it up on our website. So you can find it on our website. But you're going to be managing the daily operations of the hydroelectric power plant. Looking at installations, power shortages, just general maintenance, I guess, that would come with that position. Basic computer skills, ability to respond to emergency calls, and a strong problem solving and practical application.
All right, very good.
They're also hiring for a mechanical technician, so same thing. You can get on our website and look for both of these and how to apply to them. And then Automated Dairy Systems is hiring a journeyman electrician. The pay is dependent on experience. They do say compensation is based on experience and skill level. So if you have some strong skills and a lot of experience, could be a good one. They want you to send resumes to ggilbert@automateddairy.com.
Okay.
And include some current contact information. It's funny, people don't update their contact information on their resume. They make sure everything looks beautiful and the work part, but the phone number has changed.
I know. Yeah. Can you imagine? We would love to hire you, but we can't get a hold of you. Oh my gosh.
They died 15 years ago.
No. So this is another kind of fun part-time position with the YMCA. It's going to be $7.50 an hour plus a membership package. So if you want to get a gym membership, but this is for their child care watch. So they have that daycare in the YMCA program. So they're looking for someone.
So you can work out and your kids are taken care of. Isn't that nice, Kyle?
Yeah, that is nice.
It is nice.
So kind of a fun position if you're just looking for a part-time job.
And love children.
I would say, it would be great. I nannied all through college. It was a great.
You did? Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
I did it 3 days a week, and it was awesome. So any CSI students that are listening, could be a really great part-time
Do you get
job.
attached to the kid? Was it hard to leave?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's a little 2-year-old, and she was just the funnest, sweetest little thing in the world.
But do you still keep in touch?
Yeah, with the family and with her. Yeah.
Birthdays and Christmas.
Yep. Send her birthday presents. Right. Her birthday's actually on Halloween, which is really cool. So.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah. Way to go.
Yeah.
Sounds a little creepy to me.
Yeah, we totally digress, but they're looking for...
And we're about out of time, too.
Okay, well, I got one last one. The Shoshone Veterinary Hospital is looking for a veterinary tech. So they just need an associate's degree and no experience. So if you just graduated from CSI in the vet tech program...
That's right.
Great opportunity.
Wow.
Jordyn, what's your number again real quick?
208-735-2500.
And online?
At labor.idaho.gov.
All right. Well, we're going to miss you.
Jordyn, thank you. We're going to miss you. Hopefully we'll be able to get
I'll be back.
We shouldn't say that. Yeah. They're just going to have to fix it so Jordyn can be on the show.
Sorry. That's just
all there is to it. If you want this segment, you're just going to have to send Jordyn. Time now for the Huckabee Report. You can hear the Huckabee Report each weekday at this time, brought to you exclusively by Waddell & Reed. Laura Nelson, Josh Funk, and Steve Stanger are the financial advisors, and the number is 736-6563. Wanted to tell you about the folks at Far More of Idaho and their infrared Baron program, how they can fly over your fields, take pictures with infrared cameras. Then they take that information, they can send it to you. You can upload it on your computer. You can look at your fields from the air, from the sky, in infrared beauty.
That's right.
And that'll show
you
things.
Get the pot out of your fields because you can. They say that they can show that as well.
It shows up like a sore thumb.
Yeah, apparently.
But if you're more interested in making sure that your fields are being watered properly, that your irrigation system is working the way it's supposed to be working, this will show it quicker than anything. So, and it is not all that expensive. And I've been telling you, it doesn't cost, it pays. Because you can see these problems that you may not know exist. You can take steps to fix these problems, and the result will be a higher yield in your crops and just a better crop overall. And it's better on the fields that way. Talk to them about it at Far More of Idaho at 324-3341. You can also go to their website, farmoreofidaho.com, and they would love to talk to you about infrared Baron and these overflights of your fields.
That's how easy it is. And You can sign up for lunch with Kelly.
I know, and I've got to call our. He called me yesterday, left a message. Ray
You're
Massey.
playing phone tag.
Yeah, because all I had was an email, so he gave me a phone number, so I got to call him today and get a time fixed up to where he and his wife and us can go for lunch at the Canyon Crest Dining and Event Center.
In the meantime, people can still enter.
They can.
For the month of August. We'll pick it September 1st.
That's right. What's today, the 12th? So
Actually,
we're almost halfway through August.
We'll pick it September 2nd because the 1st is Labor Day.
Yeah, so it'll be a Tuesday then that we'll be here.
And we
so
won't be
probably
working
won't have
Labor Day.
It's hard to say. I don't know. It just depends
Seriously?
on the mood of the boss at the time, you know?
Really?
Yeah, they might decide, we want you to do a show.
Yeah, let's just ruin the last long weekend of the summer. You only got 3. Can I say what a pet peeve is when people plan their weddings on the long weekend, and you only have so many a summer. You got Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. And to plan your wedding on a long weekend is selfish.
No, that's an easy
pick.
You just
selfish.
don't go.
Oh, if it's family member, and they're like, no, it'll be great because we'll have 3 days. And you're like, no, it would be great if I could have gone to the Cape or something. You know what I mean? Like, come on. No, don't do that, people.
Well, now we know what Jill's pet peeve is.
Oh,
don't invite her to your wedding if it's on a long holiday weekend.
We had a friend, my ex-husband, is on Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, for crying out loud.
No, we had to travel to California. So we basically, I think, had Thanksgiving or something. Yeah, in the weekend. It was terrible.
I would have said, have a nice wedding, buddy.
We
we'll
ate
see
at
you
a
later.
Denny's or something on Thanksgiving.
Hey, we'll be back tomorrow with State of the City and a lot more. Have a great day. Goodbye, Jill.
Bye, Kel.